What's happening, my people? Yes, Giants get their second win. Plenty of good things to talk about. Good vibes in the building. Welcome to another episode of Giants Rush, where we talk Giants football. Yes, 52 weeks of the year. So wherever you are on Mondays, we'll be right here. And after a Giants win, 14-7, hard-fought battle, we can come away with feeling a little bit better about ourselves today. Always feels good to get a win, except for you that small minority, you folks that are just, you want to lose and you want Caleb Williams and all that crazy stuff. The rest of the fan base is pretty excited about getting a win. Great day to tailgate. Great weather outside at MetLife Stadium. Was just a good day all the way around. I'm going to bring in the guys. We're going to talk about the Giants win over the Commanders 14-7. Let's bring in Truth all the way from the Carolinas. What's up, Truth?
How you doing? Great day. Great day to be a Giant.
Yeah. How'd it feel to get a win there, Mike? Feel pretty good?
Yeah, I do. And it was definitely needed. Definitely needed.
Yeah. Get the monkey off your back. Score some touchdowns. Let's bring in Chris. Bang. Chris, what's up?
Hey, Craig. Hey, Michael.
What's going on?
All right, Chris. We're 2 wins, right? We got 2 wins. Giants beat the Commanders yesterday. There's a lot of good things to talk about. So let's just start at the beginning, of course. One, what's up, Darius? Good to see you guys. Hope you guys start piling in the room here. Something to celebrate, right? You kind of get the monkey off your back. Giants beat the Commanders. Go 2-5. Last year at this time of the year, we were 5-2. What's up, Joe? So definitely a different feeling, but overall, yesterday was just such a good day, right? It was good weather. You saw some good things. It felt good to be a Giants fan. So I'm going to dig in a little bit, on this game, guys. There were 68 offensive snaps, 69 defensive snaps. Very balanced game, believe it or not. And I want to start off with 2 guys, gentlemen, which is always the most polarizing, players that we have. The quarterback position with Tyrod and, of course, Saquon Barkley. Here at Giants Rush, we're pretty frank about all the players, on the roster. I tweeted something out yesterday. It was received very well. And I said, it's a shame that we discount what Saquon Barkley brings to the table on a week in and week out basis. When he's not here, the defenses are basically sitting in zone coverage, waiting for Jones, to throw the ball. There's no surprise. There's nothing dynamic about it. When Barkley, Chris, is in the game, defenses have to use resources, manpower, to game plan, because Barkley can score at any time, at any place. What's your overall thought about what Barkley gave you yesterday? And do you notice a difference with him in and out of the lineup?
Yeah, you do. I mean, at 21 carries for 77 yards, had a couple catches, and obviously the long touchdown. But you notice that safety comes down in the box, right? They even shade the single high to the one side, and that opens it up for a Hyatt on the long pass down the sideline. So one thing Barkley does do is going to open up things downfield a little bit, and they're going to bring that safety up if he starts hurting them in the running game, which, hey, that's what we need, right? I mean, we've dealt with that double high safety for so many years. When he's in the game, it just opens up so many different options.
Yeah, and for me, whether he rips off 100 yards or long run, he catches a pass out of the backfield, takes it to the house, like he's always a threat Truth. He's always a threat to score. So defenses have to like take the time to either spy him with a linebacker, right? You know, he grinded a lot of yards yesterday between the tackles, right? Which is normally not his MO, but you know, the guy has value past, you know, the home run. They know, Truth, that if they don't game plan for him, they'll beat him. So my question to you is, Truth, is like, yes, we understand maybe running backs don't have the value that, you know, they once had. But when Barkley's not in the lineup, our quarterbacks struggle. Yeah. So do you agree that Barkley is definitely showing his value as, you know, now that he's back?
Absolutely. And, you know, this is not the Barkley we know of his rookie year, but he's still very, very dangerous. And like you just said, other teams, opposing teams, have to key on him. And Chris made a great point, because I noticed the same thing. An extra guy in the box sneaking up there, you know, try to stop the run. And that's going to help the quarterback, right? Especially that play where I see them crossing patterns. I see Waller benefited from that a couple of plays. So absolutely, Barkley may not be the superstar he once was, but he's still pretty darn good.
I'll say it real easy. Saquon Barkley is an asset to the New York Giants. He helps them out. Is he a great pass blocker? No.
No, never was.
Is he gonna run for 1,300 yards this year? No. Nope. But what Saquon Barkley is he's a threat. So whether you're bringing a guy down in the box, right, or you're spying him, there's always going to be that, you know, what is Barkley doing? So without Barkley, you don't really worry about Breida doing anything. He's not going to hurt you. So the defense has an opportunity to kind of lay back a little bit and play conservative, right? Because they're like, actually, let me reverse that. They don't have to play conservative. They can take some chances by running man, right? They're going to say, we can run man because they're not going to beat us with Breida. Chris, it's like a quarterback's best friend when you have a guy like Saquon Barkley.
Oh yeah, and you saw that on the touchdown where Tyrod hit him out of the backfield. I mean, when you have him in space with one-on-one with the linebacker, it's over. And being at the game, Craig, and I'm sure you saw it, as soon as he caught that pass, and you can't see it on TV, it was wide open. You knew he was going to score as soon as he turned the corner on that linebacker. He was gone.
And that's a great point. That's where you flip the coin over. Why Mike Kafka does not get Saquon Barkley in space more often is a head scratcher, is beyond me. I can't figure out why there's not more screen passes to Saquon Barkley, why there's no more speed outs to Saquon Barkley. Heck, I'm fine when they go old school and pitch him the ball. You know what I mean? Like literally flip him the ball and get him in space. Like, and of course you need to pull the guard. You need to have some blocking in front of him. But, you know, it's a breath of fresh air when he's there. It's just a different tempo.
And I know this sounds crazy. If I'm Kafka, I'm looking at that Shermer offense when he was here, because he caught 78 passes. You know, that was the best thing that Shermer did, was utilize Barkley in the passing game. And
91, Chris. 91.
Yeah, 91 it was. Okay. Maybe.
And I was just going to say that, Chris.
Right?
Schumer used him perfectly in open space. And that's what they got to kind of do that for Barkley now. That's a great point.
Yeah, maybe this is the good things that come. Who knows?
And let's shift over to his running mate there, you know, in the back. Tyrod had a pretty good day, right?
He did.
So, you know, again, like, he surprises me sometimes. I don't find he has the strongest arm, but he's surprisingly accurate. He does get the ball out of his hand rather quickly, right? You know, he avoided a bunch of sacks. You know, he took some sacks too, but, you know, I thought he had a good day. Now, I will say I thought he got kind of hosed. Overall, if you're a PFF guy, which I'm not, you know, I'm trying to see here. I wrote it down somewhere. They gave him a pretty crappy grade for Tyrod, Hodges, Slayton. Oh, they gave him a 67.9. I thought that was a pretty crappy PFF grade for Tyrod. I thought he looked pretty decent overall. He missed a couple throws. He held the ball a couple times too long. But overall, Truth, I mean, you really can't complain about, you know, the backup quarterback having a pretty damn good day.
Absolutely. This is what you want from your backup quarterback, especially a veteran. And this is why that Shane brought him in, you know, to kind of like smooth it out and keep the ship right when and Jones gets hurt. So he's doing a good job. No complaint.
I'm gonna throw this up on here because this is what we've been talking about. Mark has said, hey, took shots downfield. That alone is an upgrade. So, Chris, thanks, Mark. That's a great point, and I'm glad you brought it up because are we going downfield? Is it accumulation of Pugh and Tyrod and Saquon being back? Why all of a sudden does it look easier to go downfield? Is there maybe some chemistry? Remember, during practice, I'm sure that Tyrod gets the throw to Hyatt and Wandale a lot more than he throws to Hodgins and Slayton. Mm-hmm. And it shows because Slayton and Hodgins kind of disappear now that Tyrod's in there. Why do you think they're going downfield more?
Well, I think it's two-part. When you go back to that Arizona game when Barkley got hurt, Jones was going down the field in the second half. Barkley leaves the game, and the next few games after that, up until the Dolphin game and when he got hurt, that kind of stopped. And once again, to your point earlier, bringing that safety down in the box, opening him stuff downfield. So I think it's a two-part play there. And you notice with Tyrod, and Jones, I'm not saying he doesn't process fast, but it seems like Tyrod is a little bit more decisive with the ball. He kind of knows where he wants to go to it pretty quickly. Where sometimes you get the feeling with Jones, it's kind of lagging a little bit. Maybe it's processing, maybe it's because Barkley's not in the game. So, I think Barkley, like you said, is just a big part of this offense. It just opens up things downfield.
Yeah, no doubt. I just, I don't have a lot of complaints. I thought Tyrod had a
and I thought the offensive line didn't do bad. Like I know they gave up a few sacks, but overall, I think they hung in there well with.
They gave him time, a little bit more time.
They didn't do bad at all, considering.
Great segue to the line because believe it or not, two offensive linemen had the best grades they've had all year. Glowinski with a 73.6 and Bredesen with a 72. There's two linemen who have been pretty much maligned the entire year, and with good reason. They have not done well. So I don't know, maybe Pugh's influence a little bit, maybe rubbing off on some of these guys to suck it up and get the job done. Maybe there's some better communication. Maybe there's some more camaraderie during the week. But something has definitely changed in Glowinski and Bredesen over the last two games. So Chris, I do agree with you. The line has played better. Tyrod has definitely getting more time, and he's not afraid as a backup QB. He's not afraid to go down the field.
Yeah, he's been in the league for 13 years. He shouldn't be. He's seen it all. At this point.
The reason why he's been around 13 years, right?
Right. That's right.
Yeah, without a doubt. And like I said, I know Jones is still the quarterback of his team. They paid him to be the quarterback of this team. But he also probably needs to take a look in the mirror and say, look, this guy's going down the field. I should be able to go down the field when he is ready to play or if he's ready to play. Like there should be nothing left holding him back. If Jones comes back and he starts throwing nothing but outside the hash again, he's going to find himself on the bench because – again, not that Tyrod is throwing 15 deep balls a game, but the 5 or 6 that he went downfield on was refreshing and is necessary to win games.
Well, these athletes have a lot of pride, and it wouldn't surprise me if Jones does come out and really takes this seriously. I'm sure he does. I mean, they got pride. They want to perform well. They really do. So. He has to be 100% healthy for me to want him to come back anyway. So,
yep, without a doubt, he's got to be healthy, and we don't know that. Like I said, we had Dr. Hedgepeth on last week, and Dr. Hedgepeth went through the different stages of the type of surgery that he had last year, the different stages that he's at now. To the average person, a whiplash, a stretch in the ligaments injury could be anywhere to 6 to 12 weeks. A superstar athlete who's got amazing, facilities, training, medical staff, they may be able to get him to go in 3 to 5, right? But overall, Tyrod and Saquon definitely, again, not flashy, but we're a big part, of getting it done because, let's Waller had the day we've been thinking that he was going to have.
Yep.
We've been waiting for Waller to have that day. We've seen some flashes of it, right? So, and if I'm not mistaken, let me see if I have it here. Waller was
7 for 98, I think.
Yeah, and he was in, 82% of the overall
Snaps.
Yeah. So Waller was in the game a lot. He made a couple of really nice deep catches. He definitely looked he looked spry, he looked quick. He didn't take unnecessary hits. He came out of bounds a couple times. Go ahead, Truth, you got something?
No, I was just thinking, reflecting. You said Waller. Chris and I mentioned a few weeks back how guys like that and Robinson and also Hyatt got to play more, and now they are, and look what they're doing. There's no reason why those three guys, they got to be the three main cogs and those receivers. They have to.
And good point, Mike, because you could see Hodgins' snaps go down a little bit now that you're getting Hyatt more into the offense. So somebody's taking a little back seat now.
There is. I'm a little disappointed in that Hodgins only had 20 snaps on the day. He seems to be the forgotten man, But here's again coming back full circle to what I said before on who Tyrod's comfortable throwing the ball to. All right. Yep. So Hodgins had 20 snaps. Slayton had 57% of the snaps, but he only had one. One catch.
Slayton had one, I believe. Yep.
Yes. Slayton had. I'm pulling out the PFF stuff.
He had 1 for 22, I believe.
Yep. And it was a great catch, right?
Yeah.
But you're noticing the guys that came in the year practicing with Tyrod on a regular basis are Robinson, because he was slow to come back from the knee injury, right? Like they brought him in slow. They didn't throw him into the Wolves. They brought him along slowly. So he's working with Tyrod, right? Hyatt was a backup rookie. He's practicing more with Tyrod. So there is a little something to Tyrod feeling comfortable with Robinson and Hyatt.
Yeah. Yep.
And again, to your point, Truth, is these guys got to play more. Now, again, I'm not the biggest Robinson fan, not because of Robinson. Well, remember, it's got nothing to do with Robinson itself. It's he went as a second round pick, and we had a whole lot more needs, to go in the second round than a smaller receiver. And so far, he's been injured a lot. Now, with that said, he flashed, on Sunday, showing that shiftiness, that we, kind of like what they drafted. What's his name for? That they traded to Kansas City.
Oh, Tony.
Kind of like that, you know what I mean? Like Tony was a super shifty guy. That's what they were looking for. Well, they may have found that in Wandale if they can get him open in the seam, and if they can get him open in that mid-range, in that mid-range, area for Tyrod. Again, so far the guy's bounced back from two surgeries. So, yes, I'm always complaining about Wandale. It's not about him. It's that we could have got Wandale Robinson in the third round. We didn't need him in the second round.
I know, but Craig, go ahead, Truth. What were you saying?
Well, I was going to say, Craig, you have to. These guys remember draft night. You were hilarious.
Yeah.
when Wandale's name was called, it was a classic.
Yeah, Craig, forget where he was drafted at this point. Like now we're getting production out of him. That's what we want to see. So I think we got to just kind of forget about all that at this point.
Yeah. Well, again, he's got to stay on the field for more than 2 games. I mean,
he's been doing it this year. He's been.
How many games has he played this year?
I'd have to look, but when he came back in, remember he was on the PUP, right? And he came off the PUP, so he missed a few in the beginning. But since he came off the PUP, he's been fine.
Oh no, since he's been come off the PUP, he must be a pretty quick healer, right? Because
that was November, the ACL. So he's definitely come back in 10 months.
Again, and we don't know the extent of it. It could have been a partial tear where they cut it off. I mean, in case you guys have never had an ACL injury. With a lot of football players, to get them back on the field quickly, sometimes they shave off the tear. So if your ACL is this wide and has a tear, they'll just trim it down. They'll just take the tear off and make it thinner. instead of repairing it.
Yeah, and to go off that point, Craig, nowadays they let you train for about a month to get that knee nice and strong as possible before the surgery. So that backs up the surgery as well.
Yep. And so he's definitely had a real good bounce back year from coming off ACL injury. And hey, look, again, if we're going downfield and we're throwing the ball, and we're gaining yards, who cares, right? Again, I still feel Hodgins is getting left out. The guy runs great routes. He brought us to the playoffs last year. I'm not really sure that he should be left out. I don't really see the advantage because he's a mid-range, guy. I mean, he made Patrick Peterson look bad in the playoff game. I know he can do it. I know he's not a blazer, but I still find he should be able to have 3 to 4 catches a game.
And I think he will because he had 2 the other day. So, I mean, I think you'll still see him, but it's just going to be reduced.
I think he should share more of the snaps with Slayton. I think that would be more appropriate.
Well, but they're also different style players, right?
I know, so.
Hodgins is really the only mid guy. You've got, Shepard and Wandale for that underneath stuff and the quick stuff. And you've got Waller, that can pretty much do anything, and Slayton and Hyatt on the deep stuff. So Hodgins has always been that mid-range guy. Either way, this group of wide receivers can do the job if we can protect Tyrod or Jones and we can move the ball down the field.
And Craig, to that point, maybe that's why we're seeing them move down the field as well, because now that they are getting Hyatt to stretch the field with Slayton on the other side, it is part of their plan to open things up more.
Yes, and I will tell you, the kid is pretty impressive. Because the catch that he had on the sideline, he actually, watching it being reviewed 90,000 times, he actually drug his first foot and put the second foot down, where normally you put the first foot down.
Yeah, I missed that.
Your second foot. He was dragging the first foot, put the second one down, and I will tell you, if you can see this on, I don't know, YouTube, or you can grab it, he smokes this guy. He's running like step for step. As soon as he sees Tyrod let that thing go, he burns by that guy by 3-4 yards and beats him. It was impressive, the second gear that Hyatt showed.
Yeah, and if Tyrod had a little bit more mustard on that, a little bit stronger of a throw, that might have been a touchdown. He just kind of put a little much air under. He doesn't have the strongest arm, but on target could have, but that could have been touchdown.
I agree. All right, so look. Guys, I'm looking here. Bredesen, McKeithen, Glowinski, Pugh, and Phillips, which we need to at least address, played 100% of the offensive snaps. Nobody, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. We may never see that again.
Yes, exactly. Nobody got dinged. Nobody got winded. Nobody needed a blow. Nobody was hungry. No one needed a sandwich. Those 4 guys.
Nobody was put in timeout, benched.
None of it. Those guys played the entire game, and as I mentioned earlier, Glowinski and Bredesen with some really positive grades.
You know what's funny, guys? You look at those names on paper, and you kind of wonder, especially against Washington, because they have a good front 4.
They got a great front 4.
Right. How would they do, right? But, football's not played on paper. And perhaps they gel, they play good together. We always talk about communication with the offensive lineman, So,
hey, Mike, you make a great point with the communication with Pugh only being here a couple of weeks, but with a veteran, it's got to rub off on the other guys communicating on the line and his little secrets that he's had in the league.
He's talking in meetings, right? Absolutely.
The mental part of it for them.
Yeah.
Well, you guys can find us here, of course, every single Monday at 8 p.m. live on Twitter and YouTube. But in case you don't know, on Wednesday is our Rush Hour show, which is our preview show, where we like to chop it up here on Mondays, complain, or in this case, celebrate, right? But on Wednesdays, Truth, spearheads the show. We rotate in Spartan Mike. We rotate in Chris for a preview show. So do me a favor. If you want to talk about Jets Giants, which is coming up this week, make sure you tune in on Wednesday right here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, gentlemen. So Waller, great game. Hyatt, great game. Slayton, great game. Offensive line, good game. Not great game, but better than what we've seen.
Right,
Tyrod played really steady. I think Barkley makes the engine go. So, that all looked good. I think there was some unique plays that Kafka called. The offense had a little bit of or Dable, because we don't really have to know.
Rhythm.
Yeah, there was a good rhythm to it. A really good rhythm to it. Again, we only scored 2 touchdowns. We definitely needed to score more, but it was more than we've been scoring. I can only hope that this is a step ladder, step stool, whatever you want to call it, for more dynamic, explosive plays in the near future. Would you both agree with that?
Well, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, they got to score more to win games. You can't win games while you're scoring 14 points all the time.
Exactly. There is no room to go backwards anymore, right? But win's a win, feels really good. I hope this rubs off on a couple of the guys. Let's take a chance or change the pace up to defense, because I almost feel like it's, and I'm not killing anybody's age here, but I feel like Wink Martindale needs to warm up. You know what I mean? Guy goes out, he pitches, he warms up for a half hour, 20 minutes, guy throws 90 balls. Well, when a guy's been in the league for 15 years, you may need 45 minutes to an hour to warm up. I feel like Wink needs to warm up, because the defense we're seeing now, gentlemen, is not the defense we saw in week 1 and week 2. Because the defense we saw truth in week 1 and week 2 sucked. I mean, there was Okereke looked like he was lost. Thibs was nowhere to be found. Pinnock was not the same guy. McKinney was literally I don't even know where he was the first 3 weeks, right? Truth, what happened? What has happened where Wink all of a sudden is starting to figure this out?
I have no clue. All I know is perhaps maybe some of the guys, like you talked about Okereke, maybe, and him and McFadden have been phenomenal for the Giants up the middle. And, the Giants have always been known to having good linebackers. And all I can say is that perhaps the lights are going on now. Things are clicking in the schemes he wants. I still would like to see something else with Thibs, and hopefully we can get Ojulari on the field. But last 2 weeks they're playing very, very inspiring football and defense.
All right, Sarah, welcome. Tell Jay and Cold that I'm not old, Sarah, because they're making fun of me in the comments over there that I'm old. I'm just making a point that Wink Martindale is 15 years, 20 years older than me, and he needs some time to warm up, because he gets paid a lot of money, and that defense was bad the first couple of weeks. Chris,
yeah,
and to parlay here off of Truth's point, what do you like? What are you seeing beside the obvious, which I'm going to cover in a second? Okay, which are the linebackers in the front? But is there something that you see that we're doing differently? Something that grabs your attention?
I think it's trust. When you only play a couple preseason games, these guys don't play a lot. And when you have Trey Hawkins, Deonte Banks, both rookies, I think you bring in the reins a little bit those first few games, and you don't allow them to, to be as aggressive as they are now, and to, play one-on-one. And I think it's trust. I think Wink, as he knows what he has when you got Okereke and McFadden playing together more. I think it comes down to trust and just allowing these guys more opportunity to make plays. And you see that with the defensive line, won't get into it, but you can see now they're increasing the snaps with Dex to stop that running game. They're not rotating as much. Him and Leo are in there kind of like last year. They're giving them a lot of time.
I got to tell you, I think Ward is so overrated, but he had a good game. He doesn't really
play well.
Yeah, but he had a good game. I've been waiting for that guy to get, to get put on the bench now for weeks. You know what I mean? But so whatever Wink's doing, whether he's got the protein shake going, whether he's using some vitamins, whether he's sleeping in an oxygen tank. I don't know what Wink's doing, but he seems that he's warming up to the point where we got 2 specific players I want to call attention to, because they are playing fantastic football. And I am crowing to the moon about it because I've got killed all off season and the whole beginning of the year about this guy. So McFadden and Okereke, I mean, are playing some of the best ball as two linebackers can possibly play. I'm going to say this to you, gentlemen. McFadden is great this week. Again, if you believe in the analytics that they come up with, I'm not a huge fan of them calculating a half a sack as a full sack. I think that's a joke, right? But McFadden's grade is an 89.8. He led all middle linebackers in the NFL today, yesterday on a grade. He had an 83, 84 something last week. Okereke with another great grade. They are playing so well together. It feels like these guys have something going on. I mean, sacks, tackles for loss, forced fumbles, interceptions. Like, Okereke playing out of his mind last week, knocks the ball down. Who's there to get it? McFadden, right? These two guys now are making the guy's job up front a little bit easier, making the defensive back's job a little bit easier. I'm just really, really thankful that McFadden got an opportunity, right? Let's just call a spade. Everybody was calling for Beavers, right? Everybody was calling for Beavers. McFadden just needed to figure out. Okereke did not look like he fit the defense for the first 4 weeks. He looked off, since Seattle, Miami, he has just, maybe with San Francisco was somewhere in that, that week 3, 4, 5 that he figured it out. So super excited about these two guys. Truth, what do you like about these two guys?
Boy, I like a lot. I like their energy. I like their anticipation. I'm a guy, when I watch a football game, I'm kind of weird. I watch the trenches. Part of that is when you watch the linebackers shoot the gaps. Like McFadden does that so well. He reads the play, he shoots the gap, gets there before the blocker gets to him. And that's why you're seeing him succeeding, because he's playing very good anticipation. That's from doing your homework, by the way. When you look at the scouting reports and look at film. I told Chris this last week or 2 weeks ago that I think those two guys are playing the best Giant football on the inside since when the Giants had their great linebackers, with Carson and Reason and Johnson. Those guys are playing phenomenal.
Yeah. We haven't had two. We've had one. We haven't had two good linebackers in quite some time. And again, I don't want to jinx it.
No.
But I want to just say, like, to your point is, one is Okereke looks great sideline to sideline. He's also dropping into coverage and he's fast, right? So he can open up his hips and he can get into into pass coverage, and it seems very natural for him, right?
Yeah.
Get there and cover. I love the fact that he's not afraid to lay out for a ball and knock a ball down. I mean, like that's the extra effort that you want to see.
Football, yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah. And again, I'm the first one to eat crow. Like, I didn't see it the first 3 weeks. He just looked like he was always in the wrong spot. And Chris, Truth brings up a good point about the gaps. McFadden at Indiana, his expertise was blitzing in the A gap and the B gap. Because he's got a little Blake Martinez in him where he's good at scraping between the center and the guard. He doesn't allow guys to get into his body. Last year, he would over pursue and he would get washed out in the play. He's doing it, like as Mike just alluded to. He's watching film. He's staying home and he's sitting and he's waiting for the play to develop instead of getting washed out and pushed out or over pursuing it. He's now filling in that A and the A-B gap, which I think is perfect to Mike's point. That's his game. That was his game in college.
And that's what we've been missing. Yeah. With previous linebackers, that was our biggest complaint. They didn't have gap integrity, right, or responsibility. They were, we had certain guys flying all over the place, hustling, but they weren't gap responsibility, what they're supposed to do is hit those gaps when they need to.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a great story. In case you guys, and most of you guys know, if you want to see our interview with McFadden from before camp, it's on the YouTube channel. Really great story. Not highly recruited, because he played defensive end all the way through high school until his senior year when they moved him to the inside. He had like 6 opportunities. He went to Boston. He was going to go to Boston College, and they called him the day before he was coming to say, hey, we just had 4 linebackers commit. We got no room for you. So,
another linebacker, yeah.
Yep. So he did, and then when he got to Indiana, again, I would, recommend you watch the interview so you can hear it coming out of his own mouth. He said he got to Indiana and they went, you're never gonna travel. And he was like, I haven't even gotten my shoulder pads yet. And they were like, we're just telling you now, you're not going to travel. After a week of practice, they were like, look, you're not going to start. By the 3rd week, he was running the defense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, awesome. So this kid has a little something, right? Yep. He's got a little something. And I think him and Okereke have really made a nice match.
And Craig, just to, and let's give Okereke credit. Micah McFadden, this is his 2nd year. He didn't have Okereke last year. So how much knowledge has he gained, working with Bobby with his experiences being a heck of a linebacker? So that's rubbing off too as a tandem.
Great point, man. And I'm super glad that Okereke was here. I was excited for the signing. He just looked out of place the first 3 weeks. So they somehow have settled down and figured that out. Again, back-to-back weeks, McFadden, with a great grade. Okereke with a pretty good grade. I think Okereke is now leading the team in tackles since 2 weeks ago. McFadden was out for that week with an injury. I also think the defense plays very differently when Simmons comes in. They basically bring everybody up in the box when Simmons is in because they're going after the quarterback because Simmons is more of a pass rusher. And they get gashed up the middle a lot when they swap McFadden and Simmons. And I like Simmons, so I hope they package him up and use him the right way. But the defense plays different when Simmons comes in. All right, Truth. Tell me what before I tell you what I saw. Tell me what it looked like on TV. I was at the game. Right. I tend to do what you do. I tend to fixate on a guy, watch him for a handful of plays. What did you think about Thibs, Dexter, and Leo yesterday?
Well, I thought Dex and Leo probably played the best game this year as a group. They were playing like Dexter was playing like he played last year, and Williams was like he was a couple of years back. They couldn't single block them. I thought they played great. Thibs, I had mixed emotions with him. I got to be honest. I saw a lot of plays off that he was doing. He doesn't really trail the play a lot when the play's away from him. I don't know. The plays I saw, he doesn't do that. I think he had 1.5 sacks.
Again, PFF gave him 2 because they refused to give you a half a sack.
And that's great. And I know he's on average to get 11 sacks or so, but he's also on pace to get 35 tackles for the year. And that's only 2 tackles a game. That's pretty pathetic for me as your 5th round pick and he's your linebacker who's supposed to be a game changer. That's what I think he's supposed to be. But I know he's only his 2nd year, so I'm not going to be too rough on him. But I thought Dex and Lawrence played phenomenal.
Chris, your thoughts on the big boys up front and the outside guys?
When you have on the other side Montez Sweat, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Chase Young, and then you have Leo and Dex, you can't tell me they probably don't talk about that. They're compadres on the other side, and they outplayed them. They outplayed the other guys on the other side that everybody raves about with their defensive line. So I think a lot is keeping Dex and Leo in there together. You saw Dex over Nick Gates quite a bit, powering, in the middle of that offensive line. So I think, they're gonna be not rotating as much and let them get a good feel for the game and keep them in there like they're doing. I thought they played awesome.
And that's going to be the common theme too. Did they say that Dex is going to be over the center much more moving forward? That's what I read.
Yeah. And Leo with the block field goal too. So even going above and beyond.
We'll talk about that in a second on special teams. Thibs had a grade of 69.5, which sucks from a grading. But again, I don't buy into all the PFF stuff.
Yeah.
Dexter had, they give him 2 grades against the run, 77.3, pass rush, 87.7. Against the pass rush, Dexter Lawrence is an absolute bully.
That's impressive for a 385-pound man.
Impressive. A man that size, he has got such quick hands that he can slip out of a lot of, linemen trying to get their hands, in tight and around them. Whether it's a swim move or a stab, he's very elusive for a big man. Yeah. Now Leo, I think kind of, again, if you buy into some of these crummy grades, they gave Leo a 46.3. And I just think that's it. Yeah. It's just so way off base.
Yeah.
Because again, one, he had a great sack, which I did not expect. He was in Howell's face all game, with a hand raise. I thought Leo had a pretty good game. And I think they work well together. What I would like to see, gentlemen.
In the running game, Craig, they held them on. They're Brian Robinson had 30-something yards. So the running game up the middle finally did their job.
Agreed. And I thought Ward, which I'm not, the biggest fan of, I thought Ward and Thibs and Dexter, and Leo had a great game. Even Nacho had a pretty good game. Even he was, making some plays. Like they were a lot of pressures. Hang on. They had 28 pressures yesterday and 8 sacks. Now, awesome. That's a PFF grade. Okay. So that really means it was probably 22 pressures and 5 or 6 sacks. Okay. But the point is that those guys were disruptive and they were getting after it. I know it's, I'm not Wink Martindale and I'm not a defensive coordinator in the NFL, but I'd like to see Leo almost replace Ward. I'd like to see Leo come from the outside a little bit more. Mm-hmm. We know we can do it. I'd like to see, he's still got a great first step. I'd almost like to see if they would give Leo some snaps. That way you can keep Robinson or Nacho inside next to Dexter, because a lot of times, gentlemen, they'll take Dexter and Lawrence and Leo out at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right about that.
So I'm not a fan of that move. So I'd like to see Nacho and Robinson rotate with Dexter and slide Leo out and give him some reps. Just, that's just me. All right, Thibs. Breaking down Thibs, 69.5 rating. He seems to be getting better each week. I think I want to drop in here for a second. I think Cold had a good point. I want to throw it up on the screen. Thibs' motor doesn't always run hot. His knockout coming out of college. There is a lack of motor. Every play, he's not the most dynamic, but I do think he's getting better. They still occasionally drop him into pass coverage. Chris, why do they do that?
It seems like that goes back to Wink. He's been doing that. He did that with defensive linemen. You see it back in Baltimore. That's just part of his creativeness. But, I wonder that too. But that's just how Wink runs the defense. He does that quite a bit.
I don't mind it once in a while. Even Michael Strahan did that once in a while, but not as much as he's having him do it this season. I think it's overkill.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he dropped I guess on that play he dropped the interception. He dropped them back there, and that was our 5-year-old probably could have called that. But,
yeah, grandma
he saw, like they say, he saw all the green in front of him, and it was just too easy. Some of those are too easy. Yeah, well,
I think
come back to bite us. Thank God.
I think Evan Ingram could have caught that.
Well, listen, let's not kill Ingram. He's catching Allen could have caught that. Now. Yeah, we can't kill Ingram. He's catching everything in Jacksonville.
I know, right?
Yeah. So, if you think about it, gentlemen, Thibs drops a touchdown. Gano misses a field goal. I mean, there's 10 points right there that we left on the board.
Hey, the Barkley fumble right inside the 10.
Barkley fumble inside the 10. Let's just even say that's a field goal. You're looking at roughly they left, 13 points on the table. That game should have went, a much different way. But But overall, on Thibs, I think he's getting better. I do think he's getting better. I do think he's kind of I don't know if you want to say he's kind of pacing himself. He's kind of figuring some stuff out. I did see some good things out of him yesterday. And you're right, Mike. I did see him take a couple plays over. I'm like, dude, I'm like, go down the line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because when Leo or Dex stuffs the run a little bit, you need him to come from the backside and close that up. Yeah. I think it will come. I do think it will come, but I don't know if you're not going to see that TJ Watt type of motor. You know what I mean? You're not going to see that, Trayvon Walker motor. I don't know. I'm trying to think on like right now, a guy that just nonstop, I don't think that's in his forte. And as Cole said, that was just not coming out of college.
He's not going to be Aiden Hutchinson, you're saying?
I'm not allowed.
I know you're not.
I'm not allowed to bring him up.
I said it for you.
Thank you. But I do think Thibs has gotten better each week.
Yeah.
I do think he's gotten better each week. All right, gentlemen. So let's talk about our first round draft pick. I thought he had a really good game. PFF says no. I love his open field tackling ability. So Tay Banks gave up 11 receptions for 96 yards. He did have a pick. He had a 58.2 rating by PFF. I thought that was super harsh on a guy who, as we know, McLaren's one of the best.
Absolutely. And you know what? He's a rookie. He's going to have a down game compared to all the other games he's played this year.
But I didn't think he had a down game. Did you guys think he had a down game?
No, it was a couple chunk. It was a couple chunk plays. Happens.
Yeah, what about the numbers? Based on the numbers, I thought he played pretty well, and I think the kid is a keeper, and I think he's going to make the all rookie team.
Yeah,
and the interception looked like a receiver out there. That was a receiver type catch.
So I love that he's physical. He's figuring it out. Like because he plays tight, man. He is up almost like on a jam. Like his, and when you watch, and you don't always see it on TV. I mean, like he is 2 feet off the receiver. He is so close.
Love it.
Getting his hands on these guys.
Disrupt the route.
And he's. I mean, I'd like to see him even get more physical. With more of a jam off the line. But I don't know. Tay Banks seems like a good kid. Seems like he's having fun. Truth, you just said there's no reason why the kid doesn't make the all-rookie team. He's having a great year. I think that rating they gave him is a little bit harsh.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, if he gave up 11 receptions for 96 yards, it didn't do anything. It was like 96 yards. Like you would think that there's they lost the game. So I don't know. Again, that's why I don't put a lot of stock in all this PFF stuff. I thought Banks looked good, and let me tell you, even if he gave up the reception, Cat made like 3 or 4 open field tackles.
Yeah, and you say 11 receptions. That's like 8-something.9 per catch. So he's keeping everything in front of him too. He's not letting plays.
Yeah, I mean, you could even say as far as if that ball was over his head, it might have been a reception. But the kid got up there, plucked that sucker right out of the air.
Receiver, like Chris said,
yeah, he's fun to watch. And it's a great pick. He's definitely fun to watch. And it's a difference maker, guys. It's a difference maker, right? Because we needed that corner, right? All right,
absolutely.
And I don't even know what to say about it. It's so embarrassing. How does an NFL team, a professional team with billions of dollars, paying coach, paying everybody, and we can't get one guy
to catch a ball?
Well, you got one today.
What?
Right. Gunner.
Humor me for a second. Yes, the kid from Pittsburgh. How in the world do we first of all, you let Crowder go. Okay, whatever. But they put Gray back there. He's never done it. Shep, who the heck knows what Shep's doing? And How does this guy have a job? How do every single week, we're talking about the special teams coordinator. The guy is clueless. Now, you want to give him credit for Leo blocking a kick? Okay, I guess so. I don't see what Leo's skill has to do with McGahee's job. This guy needs to go.
Craig, do we know, does McGahee make the call on the returner, or is that a Dable decision?
Well, I mean, it's just like Bobby Johnson. I mean, like when they talk about evaluating, hey, Bobby, who are the best rated linemen that you have that should make this team? Bobby Johnson's the one giving Shane Lemieux and Pert a job.
Right.
Well, McGahee's doing the same thing. Oh, yeah, I got it figured out. I've got Gray, I've got Shep, and I'll throw in Slayton if I have to. And we can't feel the freaking pun.
Yeah, you're right.
Right, because you listen, you're the first guy, which is right, but you're the first guy to brought it to my attention. You're like, Bobby Johnson is to blame for us sitting around with Pert and Lemieux. Well, McGahee's the one that got Gray returning kicks. You think Dable's sitting around saying, I don't like that guy, give me a new punt returner? No.
Right. I'm only thinking that after Gray lost the job, that may have been a Dable decision of going with Shep, because I think it was his call with Adoree when he put him back there, and nobody was happy about that. He told him the fair catch, and everybody's like, what are you doing? So that's why I'm kind of thinking after Gray, Shep was maybe a Dable decision on this. And, for all accounts, Shep used to do this. He used to return punts. So that was, but the Gray thing is totally ridiculous. He shouldn't have been back there. Training camp was horrible.
Shep's been collecting mothballs for months.
But in training camp, Eric Gray didn't look good. And the fact that they put him out there in a regular game was like negligence, So I agree with you there.
Yeah.
I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do it anymore. Our special teams has sucked for a decade.
I think they finally realized it, and they signed Gunner today.
Yeah.
I think they finally realized it.
Yeah. He has a fumble problem too. He's fumbled 8 punts, so they got cut because of that.
Truth, if it took them to now to figure out we got a problem, then why don't they just pay me? Because if that's my thing that drives me crazy. This guy's had jobs with McAdoo and Judge, and this guy keeps getting the job, and we still suck. We don't have any guy that can return a kick.
Bring back our boy last year. What's his name? Bring him back.
Bachman.
Bachman, Alex Bachman. Bring him back. What's he doing?
He's kicking ass for Texas.
Is he really? He's on the roster?
You know what? If Mark Thompson, he knows everything. Mark Thompson, is Alex Bachman still on the Texans roster? I think he is, but Mark will know because Mark
Let's see how fast he responds. He's probably Googling it right now.
Just go right to the roster.
That's okay. Mark Thompson's pretty fast at Googling it because he's always got the answers. So, but yeah, Mark got issues with special teams.
Getting back to that, these guys have to have meetings all the time. Dable meets with the special teams coach, offensive line, defensive coach, linebacker. They have to all meet and talk about the personnel. They have to.
Yeah.
Right? They got to.
Yeah, and what is he saying? I got this under control. Gray can do it. Well, that don't work out. His backup is Shepard. He's done it before. Well, that don't work out. Yeah. I mean, and then at the end of the day, you go, but Leo blocked the kick, and his job is saved.
I know. Come on. I know. It had nothing to do with that.
That's right.
Well, all right, Chris. So where do the Giants go from here? What does it look like injury-wise? I know you're a big roster guy. So
yeah, he's into that stuff.
Yeah, you love the roster moves. So give me this. Who do the Giants bring in to return kicks? Who are the Giants getting off of injured reserve, and what does it look like, for the Jets game coming up?
Yeah, so Olszewski from he was
Gunner.
with the Patriots. Yeah, Gunner. He's a returner. He doesn't really, as a receiver, doesn't play much there at all. But he was 2020 with the Patriots, was an All-Pro, had about 346 yards in punt returns, has 1 punt return for a touchdown. He was with Pittsburgh last couple years. Has a little bit of a fumble problem, so that kind of scares me. I think that's maybe why he lost his job as a punt returner with Pittsburgh and was put on the bench and now released. So Giants did pick him up, and he's going on the practice squad. So it doesn't mean he's on the roster right away. They'll probably, get a good look at him with practice. You have a hamstring with Brightwell, which could linger, maybe go to IR, short-term IR.
We got that kid from Florida State on the practice
squad.
But
there you go. Eric Gray. Well, Eric Gray has an ankle, so I'm not sure about his status. The Giants are bringing back, it looks like, Joshua Corbin from the practice squad of the Panthers, which means he has to go on the 53 right away. So my guess is going into the Jets game, and Corbin knows the system, you're going to go with Barkley, Breida, Corbin, which Corbin's good. It just was a numbers game and special teams. And that's kind of what we're looking on the injury front, and we have to see with status on Evan Neal, who was hobbling last week, we didn't play, and let's see what Andrew Thomas and Jones, what their status is.
That hamstring,
Schmidt, right? Maybe we get back Schmitz this week. He could be getting close, so it would be something to have all these guys back on the line. But don't hold your breath. We've been down this road.
I think Thompson is going to be still a few weeks away.
Yeah, I think so.
Thomas, I mean, yeah. So
he looks like Pew at left tackle.
High ankle sprain because. Remember they were talking about him week to week, and this is now 4 weeks later. So it must be a pretty bad sprain. All right, so Truth. Yeah. I don't want to give it away because you're going to do the show with Spartan Mike this Wednesday. But the Jets defense is absolutely ferocious.
Yeah.
Is there anything that, how do we win this game?
Oh my gosh! Well, you're gonna give away my column, but look. The Giants got to
give me a taste. Just give me a little taste. So, guys, NYGIANTSRUSH.com is where all the content lives. If you're not on YouTube, all the interviews are there. Mike does a piece usually every week called Coach's Corner. That's there. Sometimes I'll do Java with Jones, the Tyrod edition. We're also, just in case, for all you high school football fans, you got kids that play high school football. I started doing a piece called Ballers of the Week, where we're nominating the Rush Baller of the Week. It could be New York. It could be New Jersey. It doesn't matter what school they go to. If you have somebody you want me to check out, send me a DM on Twitter. I will check them out. We've had two great running backs, one out of Del Barton and one out of Rutherford this week. We know high school football is coming to an end. Where basically I should have thought of this idea weeks ago, but all those concussions are catching up to me. But we will do another Baller of the Week this week. It's probably playoffs for a lot of varsity high school football. But if you got somebody you think I should acknowledge at any position, try to stick to offense, wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, unless the guy has like 12 sacks in a game or something. But let me know. If you haven't checked out NYGIANTSRUSH.com, the store is there. If you want to buy, hats, shirts, hoodies, you want to do travel mugs, anything you got, we got all the cool Rush logos up there. I know you guys haven't seen some of the new designs. It's dementia. Thanks, Cole. That too. But yeah, so, if you got a chance, Christmas is coming up. You guys are looking for something to buy your intimate other, there's girls' clothes and women's clothes up there, anything you name. Again, check out the NYGIANTSRUSH.com for the store. Truth, just give me a little piece of your article, not the whole thing. You can read about more Truth's article on NY Giants Rush probably later this week. Truth, just give me like one thing. What is the biggest thing that the Jets do great that the Giants are going to have to find a way to overcome?
Well, the defensive side of the ball in the Jets is probably going to be the best overall defense they're going to face thus far, right? They haven't played the Philadelphia Eagles yet, so I mean that they're going to bring everything at Tyrod Taylor because he's probably going to play. I don't think Jones will be ready, so regardless, they're going to bring everything at them. So the Giants have to match that intensity. They got to play good defense as well. The Giants, there's so much they got to do to win that game. They really do. That's going to be a tough game for the Giants. And listen, it's the Jets. So if they lose that game, it's a biggie to the Giants franchise. They don't want to lose to the Jets.
No one wants to lose to little brother. So yeah,
little brother's getting big.
Yep, they are, but they still got who at quarterback, and we should be able to do something there. Mm-hmm. And listen, I don't think McKinney's had a great year, but I thought he had a pretty good game this week. I think some of these guys are kind of catching on, kind of coming full circle to, might have been a scheme thing, right? Because Okereke and McKinney are coming around. McFadden is blowing it up. I'd like to see them find a way to get Simmons free, right? Like, I don't know if they need to plainly rush him off the edge or
do something with the guy.
Yeah, he just has too much talent. And I don't know, like package him up, get him in there, let him rush, stunt him off the inside, do something like
double stack on the outside with
Thibs. They need to make Zach Wilson fear for his life.
That's right. That's right.
You know? So, all right, cool.
Mark Thompson has something here saying that there's reports that Thomas and Jones might play this week.
I'll put that up there. Boom. Giants Insider expect Thomas play. All right, so our friend Jerry Foley at the Insider is predicting these guys to play, and Jerry and his partner Chris are in the locker room, so there might be some good discussion there that those guys are coming around. No, Cole, I don't hate Simmons. I just know the defense doesn't operate the same way. And I know that, like, he loves to rush the passer, so let him rush the freaking passer. Like, line him up 5 plays in a row, wind him up, and let him go. I don't like guys that don't do anything. Like, Ward does nothing. So give Simmons Ward's reps then. I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't like guys that sit around and do nothing. That's my thing. So I don't hate anybody. You know what I mean? Like I want to win some games. Chris, did you have a good time yesterday? Felt good, right?
Great time. A win's a win. We'll take it.
Yep. And we at a pound to do for an honor, honoring your dad.
Thank you.
Yesterday.
Thank you.
What I missed? What happened?
Well, Chris's father passed away a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, big shout out to Big Blue Barbecue. We had my dad's chair that he would sit in. Coffee, paper. This would have been probably because night games probably maybe wouldn't have went to the first couple, but this would have been definitely the first game, 1:00 game, or in October he would have been to. He passed away July 31st. So today was the day we got the family together. Yeah, thank you, and friends to be at the game and just commemorate this day for him. And Big Blue Barbecue, big shout out to them at J22. And they did a nice thing with the DJ. We wrote up a little something, and we acknowledged them. And it was very cool. So, yeah, great day all the way around. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, yeah, of course, man. And listen, that's kind of what it's about. And
that's right. It's family, man. That's what it is in the lot. It's family.
Yeah. It's like, look, at the end of the day, folks, like, if you're at home, you're watching the game with your family. You're at the game, you're with your friends and with your family. Like,
right.
That's what sports is about, right? So, like, yeah, winning feels good, right? And I get it. We want a great draft pick. We can't determine they're going to be good. Neil was supposed to be good by 32 teams, and everybody seems to have gotten it wrong, right? But, just kind of giving you guys a different perspective. I like that. We have fun back and forth on being negative or glass half full kind of thing. But like, hey man, yesterday felt good. The sun was out. My chef, by the way, he brought tomahawks.
Wow, nice.
I mean, we had 5 tomahawks.
I gotta go to one of those.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a good day. You know what I mean? Like, it just felt
Great
good.
Day.
So look, man.
Hey, great. Big thank you to Jay. Jay, thank you for saying that. Very nice. I owe you steak and lobster. Very nice, Jay. Thank you. Jay Ferry's very nice comment. He just said.
Yeah.
Thank you,
hey, look, man, we have some fun, with you guys, but you guys are all really good to us. You guys always support us.
Great group we have.
And hey, the way you support us is like subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tell other people about what we're doing. Look, we're also gonna and I'll leave you, and we're gonna kind of put a bow on this. We appreciate you guys. We're going to do a Halloween show, right? Which will be next week. It's going to be a Halloween show. So we got a couple cool things lined up for you guys. One, top 10 nightmares of all time, right? We can roll back in with, with villains, right? Top 10 villains. We did that show last year. I'm writing down some ideas on like what we could do. If anybody has ideas or they want to see something, special. Oh, trick or treat. So we did.
Yeah.
I wonder if I still have it here. So years ago, I used to do this. I know Truth remembers it.
Yeah, trick or treat. We used to hold the signs up.
Yeah. So we did this thing called trick or treat. I don't quite have it, but I'll use this. It said trick on one side, it said treat on the other, and I would just go through the roster of players, and you'd hold up a trick or a treat sign. So listen, it'll be a good participation show for all you guys. Wait, what's Cold killing me about now? Hang on.
Your chef from the tailgate.
What's wrong with him?
He has
you have a bougie ass. You're bougie. You have your own chef.
I don't. You want to call him a cook? What do we want to call him? I mean, the guy who barbecues.
He's a short order cook.
I just want to go to those games. Eat at your.
Oh, he does.
Tailgating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
good.
Again, I appreciate all you guys. You guys, like, we got some stuff coming up. We do a cool Halloween show, coming up. As I mentioned, nightmares, trick or treat. If you got ideas, just send them to me. Send me a DM. I'm always interested. You want something, ideas? I'm trying to get some new interviews. I tried to hit McFadden up today to see if I can maybe squeeze him back on. I'm trying to get Okereke, but some of these guys aren't easily, reachable. We can always get Paul back on because Paul, is a friend of the show. Bring on Paul Dottino. He's always got, a really good way to look at the team because he's around them all the time. He's a positive guy. And right now, you guys all know we could use some positivity, right? So thanks for tuning in to another episode of Giants Rush. Don't forget to check out the Chuck app. I should hold you all accountable for downloading the Chuck app, all right? Because you're helping us out. And no, Mark Thompson, I do not hate Wandale. Do not hate Wandale. Okay, I don't like Smurfy receivers in the second round, but as Chris just alluded to, I have to let it go. I have to let it go. So I'm letting it go. I know I didn't feed you, Mark. Oh, I know I suck, and Cold is going to jump right in there and make sure he supports the fact that I suck. I know. I already know. It's my fault, Mark.
That's a story, huh? What's going on here? You didn't feed Mark?
No, Mark was there. The time I got over to Chris, they had already went inside.
That was the Sunday night game.
Great show.
That was the Dallas game.
Yeah. We appreciate you, Weirdo. Thanks. And I will say that I've never seen Weirdo before. So pound to Weirdo. Yeah. Not, for somebody new being in the room.
Hey, he'll fit right in. Weirdo, you're going to fit right in with this whole group. You'll be fine.
You're fit right in with these nut jobs. No doubt about. We got, we got Jay in here and Joe and Cole. They're all lunatics. Anyway, thanks for watching for another episode. Wednesday, 8:00 preview show. Spartan Mike for the preview show. Truth, of course. He's always, because you know why? He's just dying to talk about the draft. So we need to give him something else to do prior to that because he's itching to talk about the safety from Toledo. All right. So Wednesday at 8:00. Please tune in. Tell a friend. If you want a preview show, Rush Hour is now our preview show on Wednesday, 8 p.m. We're rotating Chris and Spartan. Truth is always there. NYGIANTSRUSH.com. The store is open. Check that out. And I know, Mark, we're all good, man. Pound it out. You guys are the best. Tell a friend that, that we're here, and we'll see you guys next Monday. Boom. Peace.